And I think Swan's got an appointment, so he'll be off today, but invited him to join us on these weeklies now that he's helping maintain more.org and doing some really cool updates there. So really appreciate him doing that. All right. Let's see. Well, we'll see if Luke or Ryan will have to join, but why don't we go ahead and kick off in the meantime? I think we've got the recording going, so let's jump right into it. I'll start. It's been really amazing last couple weeks. Been here in Switzerland, sort of representing the Morpheus community at both the Crypto Finance Conference, which is in St. Moritz, and now in Davos. There's a ton of events sort of next to the World Economic Forum. So I try to avoid the politicians, but they tend to get bored in the forum and wander out and hang out with the tech guys. So getting to sort of red pill a lot of companies, executives, corporates, folks that don't normally show up to tech conference. I credit to Deus, Decentralized AI Society, held both a Decentralized AI Day and also a Deus dinner, bringing together a lot of the top protocols and players in the space. Good to see both Near and Hedera and others joining Deus, which Morpheus is one of the founding members of. So yeah, it's been really cool. This is sort of the conference I get to interact with a lot of the capital focused people, VCs, investors, family offices, and kind of teach them all about what's going on with Morpheus. So yeah, it's been really rewarding couple weeks. Glad I got to speak at all the events that I did. Also recorded this morning a podcast with Filecoin, which was super popular last time we did that. So they have a pretty cool venue, and we're sort of overlooking Davos. So yeah, it's been jam-packed, but when we jump into some other updates, Kyle, did you want to kick us off?
Sure. I can give a quick couple updates on the compute side. The first is that we are, I'll give the other update first. So the desktop UI version 2 and proxy router, official version 2 has been released. It incorporates a couple new features. They're all described in the GitHub, but pretty much it's the start of the API functionality. So some initial API configuration so that you can interact with a node through an API rather than through directly through like your CLI was implemented. We are doing some testing and evaluation to figure out kind of what the boundaries are of this and what other features need to be developed on top of that to better support agents using it within the compute node. That is on the consumer side. Additionally, on the both consumer and provider side, we're still working on the Akash one-click template so that you'd be able to go into Akash, search for Morpheus, and essentially click a button and add some environment variables and get a compute consumer and or provider running. So still working on that, should have a better update next week, but I think that's going to be huge in terms of helping us scale, helping people get onboarded quickly and easily. And the last thing is that we really just need to keep focusing on driving demand. So working with agent developers, working with other AI wrapper, GPT wrapper, Llama wrapper type companies who can really benefit through using Morpheus rather than through like the OpenAI API pricing model. So I think a lot of great opportunity we have, and over the next couple of weeks, we need to start executing on it.
Awesome, man. Thanks for the update on V2. Can't wait to check out the API. Yeah, all the things we could do to make it easier for people to access the Morpheus compute router is huge. And yeah, really excited about that integration with Akash. And they've been one of the most active in the whole space. Definitely a ton of usage in the Morpheus community there. So really, really
For
cool.
sure.
Thanks for the efforts on that, man.
Yeah, of course.
Kevin, you want to jump in next?
Sure. Hey, everybody. It's been an awesome week in the builders area. We have the first versions of the dashboards available, and I've been on calls all week, just helping builders on board. It's the first release, so it's working software, but as a V1, kind of just helping folks understand the onboarding flow, kind of key considerations when setting up a builder subnet. So far, the reception across builders in the decentralized AI space, I think, has been pretty positive. It's pretty awesome to be able to very quickly start up a subnet, have a way for Morpheus token holders to engage with your project and support it by staking to it. So it's definitely been an exciting week for me. And then I've also just kind of been helping out testing, dog fooding the dashboard from the Builders Accelerator standpoint. The Builders Accelerator, plans on having a subnet, and that will help build knowledge and expertise, and then be able to kind of transfer all of those learnings over to more and more builders. And so it's all about onboarding, all about improving the onboarding experience for new builders. And yeah, super excited and grateful for the team who has been working so hard over the past few weeks to get version 1 shipped.
Awesome. Sounds good, Kevin. Yeah, thanks for all your efforts on that. Yeah, it's been really cool to see sort of the final pillar of Morpheus go live with the Builder Awards. And that's just sort of unleashed a wave of people, certainly that have reached out to me and said, hey, excited to get my Builder subnet up and running. And have you thought of a subnet that does XYZ? Right. So it's sort of, I think, unleashing a lot of the community energy that's been pent up, especially among agent builders. Right. So I got a chance to talk with a bunch of the folks from AI16Z. They're excited about integrating with the router on the compute side, and then also understanding
Awesome.
how they can interact with subnets as well. So yeah,
Awesome.
it's really productive. It gives everybody something concrete that they can sort of understand, and everybody's running the numbers. Okay, if this many get staked, what are my rewards? And doing the math. People thinking about everything from interfaces to events to accelerators. So yeah, I think it's
Yes.
really exciting. But yeah, plenty of improvements to be done. If you guys are testing out the dashboards, keep the feedback coming.
Yeah, absolutely. And you reminded me of one additional thing kind of being worked on, and that's the Builder Subnet sort of spotlight series. So anyone who's been working with builders and folks, once their subnet is online, I'm working on kind of a templatized way to spotlight builder subnets. Some are on the call today. Hey, Pattern Team. And yeah, it would just be great, just for everyone to be aware that that's happening. We'll kind of just be dripping these spotlights out, I would say, just throughout the year, but we definitely want to get a good batch to highlight, covering a lot of different areas, gaming, infrastructure, events, acceleration, all kinds of categories that subnets can address. We want to get them highlighted, and so note on that.
Cool. Sounds good, man. Well, anyway, thanks for all the hard work on that. A lot more to come. I love the idea of doing a spotlight, I think once a week. Here's the new builder that's coming online and that the community is excited about. I also sent a suggestion into the devs that it'd be great to rank all the subnets based on how much more is staked towards each subnet. Then you sort of have like a leaderboard, and it sort of instantly filters for who the community are supporting. I think would be a great upgrade. So, but yeah, if you have other feedback, drop it into to Discord. There's a ton of things to upgrade and improve, kind of smooth out the whole process. So,
Which Discord channel is best for that feedback, would you say, David?
well, if people have noticed, upgraded some of the contributor channels. Anton helped streamline them into capital subnets, builder subnets, compute subnets, coding subnets, and fair launches. So there's a whole subnet category now. So I would say probably Builder Subnets channel is the best place to drop in feedback on the Builder dashboard. And so it's great to see that. We didn't cover it earlier when Kyle was talking, but there's also a beta version of the Compute Subnet dashboard now. And so going to spend some time working with Kyle on seeing the subnets that are already active. Be great to get them added to the dashboard so people can also start staking towards them. But yeah, plenty of testing and upgrading to do. But the whole theme this year is front ends, dashboards, make it super easy for people to use Morpheus, right? The community has done a ton of work on the smart contracts and sort of the whole tech stack. Now it's time to show it off in the front end. So, appreciate everybody that's been leaning in to make that happen. Very cool.
Great.
Why don't we move on to Bo? Talk to us about integrations, man.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. So lots going on. A couple things to cover. Weekend Morpheus 2 went out yesterday. That has been a really good platform to get some of these articles that David and others have written. And I'm going to be doing original content on that as well. Basically, we're going to mix in pieces as people are writing them. So if someone's working on information that they think is great for the whole community to know, shoot it on over. We'll take a look and get the messaging out that way. We're getting good number of click through and responses on that, so that's been nice. Brain Power 3 is coming out later today, which is going to be covering the brain power of AI surpassing humanity's brain power collectively in 2025 article vocally, because some people just don't love to read, and that's fine. We want to get the information out there as as broadly as we can. I've also been having a lot of conversations with potential builders trying to drive, like Kyle said, on the demand side, where we now have the ability to have the full flywheel in effect, and so finding the people to drive that demand, which to meet the supply on the compute side is what we're looking to do. I've had some really interesting conversations with people looking to do things ranging from more whimsical topics like comedy type stuff to more serious topics like trying to automate smart contract audits, which is really cool. And I think if that would be an awesome thing, that if that could be solved on Morpheus Rails first would be great just for crypto in general. And then beyond that, I mean, those three things are keeping me definitely busy, but I'm always looking for more ways to help if I can.
Awesome, man.
Oh, also,
Yeah.
sorry, one other thing, David, I just remembered. I had a good conversation with Lido yesterday. So we're trying to, long story short, I mean, our fair launch mechanism was very successful, and I think that other people will probably use the more 20 standard when it gets more broadly understood as to how it works and why it's such a great fair launch mechanism for projects. And as part of it being as successful as it was, it's obviously driven a lot of traffic through the Lido protocol. And so I'm going to be putting together some content as well that's educational surrounding Morpheus, but then also with regard to how the fair launch mechanism worked, with the goal of doing some type of sharing of that information between us and Lido.
Awesome. That's great, man. Yeah, no, thanks for pushing that forward. For anybody that's not familiar, Week in Morpheus is inspired by the famous, Week in Ethereum weekly blast that would go out to developers the last, 5-10 years. And so just a really great tool. Anybody that showed up to a Morpheus event the last couple of years probably opted in and provided an email address. And so there's now email list of like 4,000 people in the community. And so I've received tons of great feedback at events that people are getting the weekly emails and are reading through them and are really excited to see the content. So I think that's been a great way to sort of spread the word beyond Discord, Telegram, and socials. Is a lot of people still read email. So, definitely meet them where they're at. And especially I think for the capital people, that's where they spend a lot of time. So yeah, appreciate you pushing that forward, Bo. And I really, really enjoy the podcast. It's a creative way you're doing it with all the articles. but getting
Yeah,
that.
well, going forward, I'm going to be doing interviews on that as well. So I know David will book a time to get talking, and then there's been conversation with I don't know if active contributors to other popular DAI projects who also are interested in doing an episode together. And so, of course, more than happy to highlight other projects building in the space. And I think the more that we can highlight what Morpheus is doing in conjunction with what these other projects are doing, it's like a rising tide lifts all boats type of
Yep.
situation.
100%, man. That's awesome. Cool. Yeah, and I'll follow up with you. There's a couple of additional integrations the community was suggesting. Looks like we need to register, for example, on Basescan and some other places to get the Morpheus logo showing up. There's one of the things that came out of testing the dashboards, which started on Base, and now I think yesterday also added Arbitrum for the subnets.
I am working on that. I'm having a hard time getting in touch with the contacts I had over at Base. And so actually, Kevin, if we could talk about this after, if you have another contact, I just know you've been working with them pretty closely.
Good suggestion. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they've been super awesome about wanting to do co-marketing stuff, especially with all the agent kit related work Morpheus and Coinbase have been doing. So yeah, excited to see that. Well, let me just highlight a couple other things. I want to highlight the update on the smart contracts. There's been a ton of work going on there. Credit to all the people that have been involved in auditing and testing the updates. One area of work is, if you've been paying attention to the GitHub, there's now a more Sol repo for the contracts to deploy Morpheus as token on the Solana network. And so that would be integrated via Wormhole. Looks like the code's coming along pretty well. It's still in testing, but looks like the developers are getting pretty close to having that integration complete. That's been one of the top requested things in the ecosystem since early on, and now it's sort of gotten easier and easier to integrate with Solana. Found some good developers thanks to work from Anton and others, and so yeah, excited about getting that across the line and adding a fourth big network where Morpheus exists beyond Ethereum, Base, Arbitrum, and it looks like next will be Solana. So more testing and work to go there. But if you are a Solana developer, feel free to poke around the repository that is on Morpheus AIs on GitHub. Just look for more Sol. Let's see. I think that's probably a lot of the big updates on the smart contracts. There's a lot of work being done on a second version of builder contracts to make all the rewards more fine-grained and automated. Right now, if you read the Agent Builder article, it's basically on a monthly cadence. So people that create a Builder subnet, 15th of each month, the rewards are being distributed. Rewards as in the token emissions. So, the easy way to think about that is most Builder subnets are setting 30 days as their minimum. So they know that people are staking they're more at least that long. And then on the 15th, that's when distributions happen, and those go to the subnets themselves. But anyway, more upgrades to come there, but it's a good start. And it's definitely created a lot of energy and excitement in the community as everybody can, participate in this new set of emissions and get rewarded for it. So if you have an idea for a subnet, jump into the Builder Subnets channel and hash it out with people, or just go ahead and do it. It's super easy to get started. But yeah, unless you guys have other things, feel free to bring up other topics, but that's all I've got. Kyle, Bo, Kevin, you guys good?
I'm good.
Yeah, sorry, I was just replying in the chats. Yes, all good.
Yeah, great. And yep, Bowen, I heard you on that. Just ping me about the base team. We can get you connected.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Sounds good, guys. Yeah, no, great update. And I want to highlight for Rakshak, who's not here this week. He did a great push. I don't know if you guys have tried the new 2.2, but it's like smooth as butter to install the local node now. It's only 20 megabytes. It downloads Docker and installs the model automatically. It's got a ton of upgrades in the wallet section and in the reference agents. So if you haven't tried it lately, it's definitely worth loading 2.2. Also want to shout out to Luke, who's representing the Morpheus community at the We Are All Going to Make It giant conference in Miami, I believe this weekend, early next week. And so glad to have him speaking about Morpheus there. And he mentions he's going to do a new video on Builder Subnets and stuff after the next up of UI upgrades, and probably after he's done with the conference. But yeah, tons of people working on good stuff, and appreciate all the hard work you guys are putting in. Thanks, everybody. We'll call it there. Have a great week.
Thanks, David.
We'll talk to you soon. All right, brother. Bye.